Thursday's episode of Days of Our Lives tightens the screws on several simmering tensions, pulling together scares, family friction, and small, intimate moments that could spark much larger consequences. Stephanie Johnson and Alex Kyriakis' discovery feels ripped from a thriller subplot. Alex, still recovering from that bizarre pumpkin catapult assault meant to save Kat, is confronted with the unnerving possibility that he was almost stabbed, and the person lurking in the costume might have been Jeremy Horton. The image of a man in Jeremy's costume looming behind Alex, blade poised, reframes the whole ambush. What looked like chaos and holiday mischief could very easily be a carefully staged attempt on Alex's life. If Stephanie and Alex learn how close they came to a lethal outcome, it will change their approach to Kat's safety and elevate the urgency of finding who's orchestrating these attacks. That discovery could force alliances to shift and paranoia to rise across Salem, because once the hood comes off the attacker, the list of suspects will make every gathering feel dangerous. Roman Brady's caution toward Paulina Price lands as the quiet, steady hand of a man used to reading danger in small things. Whether his warning is about Paulina's protective instincts as a grandmother to little Tesoro or about her interactions with Abe and Theo, Roman's tone usually carries the weight of long experience. When he advises caution, it's rarely idle. If his concern touches the DiMera adoption or Paulina's tendency to bulldoze into family disputes, it will show Roman trying to keep a lid on conflict before it boils over. That mild admonition could provoke resistance from Paulina. She's not easily told to step back, which would create a personal clash that's less about public drama and more about family values, boundaries, and who gets to protect whom in times of uncertainty. Abe's alarm about Theo adds a darker chord to the episode. Fans have noticed a harder edge to Theo since his return. Small behaviors that once seemed like growing pains now add up to something more worrying. If Abe picks up on subtle signs, a look, a choice of words, a secretive action, the moment he voices alarm will be pivotal. Abe is the kind of father who will act, not only react, and his concern could trigger interventions, confrontations, or even investigations into Theo's recent activities and associations. Depending on how Theo responds, defensiveness, denial, or cold deflection, the father-son dynamic could either mend or splinter, and any misstep might expose Theo to people who would exploit that darkness. Meanwhile, the softer beats of the episode keep it grounded. Gabby Hernandez comforting Javi Hernandez is one of those scenes that gives the show heart. A family reeling from the recent adoption of little Tesoro, grappling with grief in private, and leaning on each other to survive the loss. Those quiet moments often provide the emotional ballast for the sharper plot turns, reminding viewers why these characters fight so hard for family and why betrayals cut so deep. Gwen Rizika's sympathy for E.J. DiMera is another unlikely emotional pairing. Two characters who share exile from their families and a sense of being abandoned by those they love. Their bond could become a dangerous alliance of wounded egos, or it might humanize E.J. just enough to make his next moves more chilling, because a softened exterior can hide colder intentions. All of these threads feed into one another. The near stabbing that might implicate Jeremy raises questions about who's orchestrating violence in Salem. Roman's caution and Abe's alarm suggest the older generation trying to prevent younger people from making catastrophic mistakes. And Gabby's and Gwen's quieter moments reveal how grief and rejection can push people into unexpected relationships. The episode seems designed to remind us that the biggest threats don't always come from obvious villains. Sometimes they come from grief, misguided protection, and the temptation to close ranks rather than seek truth. As the hour unfolds, keep an eye on the small details. Who notices the costume discrepancy, how Stephanie handles the news with Alex, whether Roman's warning is specific or vague, and how Theo reacts under Abe's gaze. Those beats will signal whether we're watching the beginnings of a major reveal, a planned hit, a scapegoat framed in a costume or something else, or the slow unspooling of fractured family dynamics. Which of these threads are you most curious to see pay off? The potential stabbing reveal with Alex and Stephanie, Abe and Theo's father-son tension, or the odd new companionship between Gwen and EJ?